Good evening. Welcome to Rivalz Race Chat. Clinton and Adam here as we are for show 225. Wow, that's a long time. I always giggle because something always makes me laugh right before we come on the air. It never fails. And this week, it was just that silence for 1 minute before we go on the air, and you're like, and then the intro kicks, and you're like, all right, I'm not having technical
this thing on?
How you doing, Adam? How you doing, buddy?
I'm all right. I'm tired, man. Today was the full disclosure. Today was the first day of full allergy medicine, so I'm dopey for the next 6 weeks. So a lot of people won't notice the difference, but I do.
For me, I've tried to cut back my Pepsi a bit, so in hopes of getting into the suit that I did not get a time to get altered before Saturday at Chaudière. So I hope you're ready to pitch a hand, bud, if we need to. But it's been 10 intensive days, and we'll see where we get. If I can zip it up on my own, that would be a goal.
One person makes a comment in passing, and you've gone hardcore fitness for the last 10 days.
Okay, a couple things there. George set me straight. I was letting myself go. All right, so I appreciate the comment. Secondly, when I can't fit in my suit, that's the clear sign that I need to fix it. Thankfully, I got into the weekend one, no problem. But this weekend has me a bit concerned, so I'm not even going to try it on until Saturday morning we fly to Quebec, and then we'll see if the extra, few days, we'll see where we're at. I got it once. It can't be any worse. I know that, so we'll be all right. Joel said, did you get altered? I said, no, it's like, just call me Cinderella. I'm going to fit in that slipper one way or another. So, anyways.
Wow. Wait a second. You want us to call you Spencer? Can you create that graphic, please? We'll expect it for Friday.
No,
Cinderella, our new pit reporter.
Is me coming on the air on Friday and telling this exact story about the suit and explaining how I couldn't get it up after my piss. Now, I said those exact words. Even my 17-year-old kid looked, you know what you just said, right, Dad? I said, I know what I just said. Thankfully, the green was coming out on a race, and you guys kind of had to get back to work and not jump all over that. So anyways, fun times. Let's talk about tonight's show before we get too off. Yeah, I'm not washing that suit, Nick, and I'm not eating any bread between now and Saturday. Junior Farley's with us. Junior is kind of living the good life these days. The most recent APC winner, the point leader after race one, racing his childhood dream at Oswego in a super modified on the weekend, or attempting to. We'll see how far that went. And just be good to talk to Junior tonight. He's going to be joining us here shortly, any minute now. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's really cool what he did with the APC series. It's fabulous. But this weekend, he got into one of the baddest race cars on the face of the planet. There's not a lot of things, Clinton, that get me pretty pumped up, but a super modified race car is the gnarliest, nastiest piece of racing equipment that has ever been created. And he got behind the wheel of that at Oswego, and just getting into it and turning laps is so cool.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. We'll talk to Junior about that. We also have James Little coming on. James Little is the son of Ivan Little, Driving Ivan, who we lost in the past couple years, and James' mom recently passed away, and they have it was kismet, June 1st, 6-1. Ivan was 61, so they're throwing $61,000 at a Merrittville project this weekend at Merrittville Speedway on Saturday. On June, we're going to talk to James Little about that. I said we need you for about 5 to 10 minutes. Let's keep it more to 5. He'd rather not be on here much, but I appreciate James coming on to tell the story about why they're doing such this. And Adam, they've got some amazingly cool programs for drivers and wives this weekend. I don't know if you've caught it, but we'll reveal all that with James here shortly about what they've got going on. Big talk in the NASCAR world. Stuart Haas out of NASCAR, a lot of speculation where that would go. There's been some fake news out today. Spencer caught for us, so we'll throw that out there. We'll discuss how Indy weekend went. Also talk about NASCAR Canada coming up in Chaudière this weekend. Promoting wars, and I think I still got to send you that screenshot, Spencer. And Buxton, Southern Ontario Speedway, Buxton, we got some news there too. And we'll talk about kind of what it takes to put our production together, because we had a hectic Friday, Adam, and I think you made a great suggestion to just talk about, all the chaos that goes on behind the scenes with the Wizards. So we'll talk about that with maybe get Spencer to chime in a little bit. But yeah, I mean, wow, Friday night was awesome at Oshweekend. What did you think? Just while we wait for Junior, I thought the racing was awesome, track was great, car counts were wicked. So much cool stuff going on there on Friday for us.
I was really proud of Dave Hunsinger for the job that he did. And it was reflected in how well the program ran until the features started. Yeah, features are what they are. The nice thing was we had some challenges in a couple of the feature races, but it was all drivers. That racetrack was mint. Zager did a phenomenal job. We can't control the drivers, right? And some nights they go a little bit wild, and this was one of those nights.
Yeah, we did have to bring the flatbed out, which wasn't the actual plan, but I think we're excited about the year. 126 cars total in the pits on Friday for 4 classes, and that's something that we're super proud of. 2B mains out of 4 divisions, always something great going on there. So have that going on. Burger Barn, video of the week. We'll get into that also today. So what else do you want to talk about, Adam? We're getting ready to go to Quebec this weekend.
Yeah, it should be a fun weekend. We'll be a little short on sleep for Saturday, but that's all right. I love that racetrack. Autodrome Chaudière is a really cool short track. I thought Memorial Day weekend was fantastic. It's one of the best racing weekends of the year. There's so much to catch, so much to watch. I've got high limit sprint cars going in the background right now. Yeah, for a diehard race fan, it's got everything you could want. And I tried to watch Monaco. I did. It doesn't turn my crank. It's cool to see a couple of laps. And then once you see a couple laps, you realize, okay, that's enough for me.
I caught a video today of Max Verstappen in his in-car. Just even he was saying, "Man, this is boring. I need a pillow," And even he wasn't too happy to be doing it. So I don't know. Let's shift gears while we wait for Junior. How about Indy 500, Adam? What did you think of Sunday with that? I thought, as always, rain delay sucks, but the pomp and circumstance around it is always cool.
Pomp and Circumstance is really cool. I think it's a phenomenal event. They play it up exactly as they should, but what a freaking race. The Indy 500 and the Little 500 the night before both had last lap passes for the win.
Yeah.
500 lap sprint car race.
I thought it was pretty wild, when you get down to that and they're coming back and forth and swapping lead back on the final lap. That's all a race fan and a promoter could probably ask for, right? So I thought that was really good. I just sent Junior a message to let him know we're ready for us too. So we'll wait and see if he hooks on here to us. But no, I thought the Indy 500 was good. Kind of sucked for Larson, when you put all that prep in, and then obviously 2 things there: the one mistake, and then the rain foiled it from being a true 1,100 miler. So, I think he'll be back. Is NASCAR going to give him the pass, Adam? I think they have to, right?
Give him what pass?
Well, to get in he needs a waiver to get into the playoffs because NASCAR rules say you have to start every event. So he will need special permission because he didn't get that. He didn't actually start or race in that race at all.
I double dog dare them. I double dog dare them to knock Kyle Larson out of the playoffs. Listen, Kyle Busch can break his foot on opening day and still be a champion that year. Chase Elliott can still be a champion after crashing on whatever it was, a snowboard or skis or whatever it was. I think that ship has sailed on NASCAR, so they might make a big deal about it. But Kyle Larson's performance at Indy did more for NASCAR than almost anything this year. That was big news. It got them onto a lot of news channels. As far as Kyle Larson goes, I'm actually really pleased for IndyCar racing. that Kyle Larson screwed himself out of a top 5 finish. Like, they can kind of puff their chest out and say, hey, this isn't as easy as it looks. Because I've often thought, you got rev limiters on pit road, you got buttons to push that make things a little bit easier, but obviously it wasn't that easy what he did.
Do you think it did anything for Indy? Like a lot of, I shouldn't say it. How can I say it and be politically correct? A lot of our racing friends probably don't care about Indy as much as we did, other than the 500. So do you think this did a lot for them? You just said it did a lot for NASCAR, but I think this brought a lot of us back to the Indy 500 too. And maybe some people who wouldn't necessarily care about it were paying attention to it. It was good for everybody all the way around.
Yeah, I think so. It couldn't hurt them. I mean, you look at all the drivers in the IndyCar field. I think Kyle Larson had the qualifications he needed to be there.
Yeah. I would like to have seen him not have that penalty and get a true run at it. I think we might have had a shot at some magic there. He certainly looked fast, and he can get it done. So I thought it was great. What do you make of switch gears back to NASCAR? Go ahead.
While we're waiting, I want to talk about the Scott Dixon and Ryan Hunter-Reay deal. Are we going to unpack any of that? We didn't grab any of that video, did we?
No.
So
I don't think so.
Clint, we talk a lot of opinions, and we kind of quarterback. We armchair quarterback for officiating as broadcasters. Obviously, we're not at the level of the team on the Indy 500. How the hell can a commentator think Scott Dixon's going to get penalized? He was already too wide. Ryan Hunter-Reay drove into his left rear tire. He wasn't partway alongside of him. He wasn't a nose to the inside. He was thinking about going to the inside. And he drove in an open-wheel car that he drove into the left rear tire of the car in front of him, which should have ended in disaster. And they have the nerve to say the car in front is going to get a penalty? I don't. Now, it's the second move. You can block once. You're not supposed to block repeatedly. They called it the Dragon. They've got a name for it for later in the race to break the draft. And if it was just the two of them on the track by themselves, I'd say, okay, maybe. But Scott Dixon is already racing the car in front of him. It is up to the car behind to not drive like an asshole and run into the back of the car in front of them. Like, how? I kind of understand what they were getting at, but not really.
Yeah, I don't see how you can make it. The closing rate on those cars are so crazy. If one guy lifts and one guy's full on with full fuel, he's going to drive right through him every time. So there's not much you can really do there. Junior's joined us. When he's ready, Spencer, send him on. Yes, we will talk about the Ushbeacon video screen scheduled for delivery Thursday. We've used it a bunch of places around, so we can talk about it. Same one we've had at Delaware. Junior, if you're ready, come on. How's it going, man? Welcome to the program.
Pretty good, guys. How are you tonight?
Good, man.
Awesome. Junior, what felt better? Winning an APC race or the first time you stood on the throttle of a super modified?
It's a toss-up, to be honest. They're both pretty awesome. Obviously, been trying quite a while to win an APC race, so that was extra special. And then we've been wanting to run a super my whole life, so been a pretty good week here. So just trying to take it all in.
I'm going to follow up there, Clinton. You finished the race 2 laps down, a 75-lap super modified race, 2 laps down. That's pretty damn impressive. Talk about what it feels like to drive a super modified at speed around Oswego Speedway. Like, does it compare to anything you've ever done?
No, it's...
Oh, sorry. You weren't 2 laps down. I read that you're 2 laps behind the car in front of you, but you didn't finish the laps, but you did make it into the race. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I've never felt anything quite like it. Like, just everything is exponentially, different. Like if you miss your your entry by a little bit. You're 10 car lengths further just because of the speed that you're going. So obviously you got to keep your head in the game and kind of work up to speed. And we're pretty decent in practice, so that kind of made things worse. I kind of, I just wanted to go down there and stay out of trouble. Then you get the competitive desire burning and you can overstep pretty easily. So just try to keep a balance on that. And they run the rookies pretty tight in the beginning down there. So if you're, as soon as the leaders came up on us, they basically wanted us off the track because there's like 5 or 6 of them in a row. I thought they were going to call it over the one way, but they didn't. And I thought they were just flagging me to stay low like you typically would, but they're actually flagging me off. So they weren't, they were okay once we talked it over and everything. It was just a misunderstanding. But, that being said, I wish they would have had some faith in me to keep me out there too, because we weren't causing any issues. But it is what it is. And we logged, I think, close to 40 laps. So all in all, good start. Cars in one piece, and we can build on it for next time.
Junior, 2 obviously different sets of goals. Now you come back to the next APC race, the point leader, most recent winner. You got to ride that wave of confidence in. What was it like to switch gears and be like the new guy now, trying to figure it out with all your heroes there as you're at this place that you literally grew up dreaming about your whole life?
Yeah, it was, we'd rented the track on Thursday. So I got down there, and as soon as I got there, they had a severe rainstorm the night before. So the infield at Oswego was raised. So all the mud and everything all the rainwater had washed the mud down onto the track. So that got canceled. So our first session was Friday night when everybody was there practicing. So it was intimidating for sure. I was hoping to get some private, track time before we had to do it in front of everybody, but kind of took it in stride and just worked our way through things. And, it was, you just kind of had to pinch yourself a few times but you got to keep your head in the game, obviously. So I was pretty excited to be there, and it was an awesome experience.
Do the other drivers give you much feedback, Junior? Much advice? Do you ask for much? Do they offer it to you without you having to ask?
Otto helped me out. He came over and kind of walked me through it, and talked about breaking points and how you want to roll the car in. And the biggest advice was just throttle. Just ease off the throttle, ease on the throttle. You burp the throttle and those things, it upsets them pretty bad just because they got so much more horsepower than what I'm used to. So there's a pretty good bump in 1 and 2. And in the beginning, I was trying to work through that, and I was feathering it, and that was upsetting the car more than the bump itself. So, once we settled down, and you don't use a lot of brake there, so I'm not used to that. I'm used to charging the corners and getting on the brakes. And so it's definitely a momentum racetrack. And, yeah, he was a big help for sure.
Junior, both, we kind of service both the dirt and the pavement here. Got a lot of viewers that hang on to both. So for the dirt guys, this is obviously where we have Super Dirt Week without the dirt on it, as it's traditionally. So Junior, I just want to show a couple pictures, and I got a question for you. Spencer, show the picture. So Junior, they did good efforts to dry the track. At least your efforts weren't wasted. Show this, Spencer. The Teresi family stepped up, and John and Eric Teresi give the drivers of all these vehicles a gift card to help them cover the cost of gas used to dry the track. So that's it must have made you feel good. At least they were making full effort for your efforts to get down there to not just pack it in and walk away. They raced fairly late, and they did their best to get it in, right?
No, that was awesome. I don't think anybody there wanted to come back the next day, and it was a holiday for everybody in the States. So they made it very clear early on that they were going to try to do everything they could in their power to get it in that night. And I think we rolled out at just after 1:30 and got home around 6 o'clock in the morning. So it was a late night, but I'm glad they put the effort in to get it in.
Junior, what does the rest of your summer look like? What are you committed to this year?
Full APC, and then 5 more Oswego shows, including the Classic. So we got a bit of a break with Oswego right now just because APC ramps up back-to-back weeks, and then being off next week, Oswego was running the ISMA show. So we decided to stay away from the ISMA stuff this year and just get acclimated to one type of car with the rear wing. So it'll basically be every other week, back and forth, APC, Oswego. This weekend coming up is our only weekend off all summer. So it's gonna be busy, but it'll be a lot of fun.
Set our sights towards the next APC race, Junior. The Shaw clan, man, those cars were running good at Sunset. For anybody who did not see it, I don't think anybody had the three of those cars on the bingo card for all three of you guys to win place and show. What's it been like for the last week and a bit since you guys pulled that off around the shop? Obviously, things are good spirits, and how do you feel about the next event?
Yeah, everybody was, I was as happy for them as they were for me. They put a lot of work and effort into their program, and all the cars were very strong. They unfortunately had an engine issue with Brandon's car, but other than that, it was a flawless night. I was on nights last week, and I think Dale came and grabbed some shocks. They were actually going to pull off my car and put on Samantha's before it got rained out on Saturday at Sunset. So they're always trying things, always trying to learn and trying to improve. And I feel good going into Flamborough. We had a strong run there in the second show last year. We ran fourth most of the race, and kind of got up there and mixed it up with the choose rule. We were able to start second, but just kind of got used up as you do on the outside there at the end and drop back. But the car showed speed, so hopefully we can be competitive there.
Junior, what's the tire rule at Oswego? Like how expensive is the tire bill to race there?
They're roughly the same amount of money. Just with the exchange, obviously it's more, but they're both the same. And I think you're allowed, you can put 4 on every night if you want it. We didn't have any real good spares or anything, so we bought a set to practice and then a set to race on. So bit of an expensive opening night, but we should be set up a little bit better going forward.
What's the set of tires go for, American, Canadian, for a super modified?
Roughly around what the APC ones are. My wife might be on the phone, so she might be listening.
Fair enough. That's
they're
good.
around like just over 1,000.
Yeah. Going forward, so what was one track you're most looking forward to? Obviously got the win at Sunset going back there. Is that the one, or do you have someone else? Maybe Sauble? Is that the place you're looking forward to? Where do you like to go next in the APC deal?
Yeah, I've always liked Sauble. We've got a lot of track time at Flamborough over the years as well. We ran there a few years exclusively, like all their weekly shows. I feel pretty good at most tracks now. Like Peterborough, we've had strong runs in the past. We got second there once to Brandon. So it's just, there's so many good guys in the series. It's all got to play out, and everything's got to align for it to be your night like it did at Sunset. But I feel like we should be in contention at most tracks and hopefully be battling throughout the year.
Well, Junior, I've got nothing more for you except to say how proud I am of you and happy I am for you. I've been watching. We did have a question Alvers wanted to ask, and I'll let you explain this because I've watched you race since I think you're about 8 years old, and you've always had that same look. Why the Junior Hanley number and look?
Just named after him, and he was my hero growing up. So his name's actually Edward Jr. and mine's Edward Jr. My dad's Edward, so I'm kind of named after both. But my dad actually was named they named me after Junior. So everybody in my family gets called by their second name. So just was kind of ingrained into me right from the beginning, and just looked up to him my whole life. And we ran it in the carts. I think there was only a couple years in All-Star when we couldn't run it. Robbie Mack was running back then, and he had it. So other than that, that's the only number. Other than when I ran with the Bill Lyons and stuff, we ran 9 and 91. Other than that, it's been 72 my whole life. So just something I've stuck with.
Right on, Junior. We'll see you in a week in a bit. All the best. Stay safe and get some rest this weekend. Spend some time at home because logging the miles from here on out, man.
No, I will do, and I appreciate you guys having me on. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Junior.
Thanks, Junior.
Man, he's got the kind of summer we got lined up. That was my last Saturday, right? We just had our Saturday off before we have no more for the summer. So we definitely know how that is. So make the most of it, Junior. Next guy we'll jump into is James Little, having a big event at Merrittville this weekend in honor of his dad. And Mom Nancy's getting thrown in there a bit too on some of the programs. James, welcome to the show, man. I know you don't love being the face, but you're doing something really, really cool. So we have to get you on to talk about it. Welcome to the program.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate you having me on.
So, Adam, I'm just going to throw a couple things out there to set the table, and then I'll unleash you on James. So, James, your father was a Niagara legend up and down the whole dirt circuit, Ivan Little. And, we talked about this at T-Max Bar and Grill probably 5 months ago. And you said, I wanted to put together a race on June 1st, 6-1, in order my dad's 61. And I want to put out a purse of $61,000. And I had a couple beers that night, but I said, James, if you give me $60,000 at a racetrack, I can fix a lot of problems. But you said, no, we need to really make this a big one in honor of Dad. So what a event you've got coming on. Spencer, let's quickly roll the payouts first. And James, so modified sportsman Thunder stocks are the big class we got going on Saturday. First off, Hoosier stocks, which they call it Merrittville, 30 laps, $2,000 to win, $150 to start, great payout, plus time trial payouts. Adam knows this, you're gonna love this. Additional money, top 3 in the time trials, top 3 in each heat, and a hard luck winner. So that's awesome. Let's see the Sportsman one, Spencer. Sportsman, $4,000 to win, $300 to start, same deal, top 3 time trials, heats, and a hard luck winner. And the big one is the modified race. And that is going to be $6,100 to win, $500 to start. Now that's kick-ass money for a modified. Top 3 plus top 4 in the heat races and a pole dash. So amazing. It doesn't stop there though, and I'm going to keep throwing it on, Adam, because I want you to talk about all these things. The next one is the Hingston. Are they your cousins? Hingston Metal Fabrication.
Yes.
How I read it, James. So James' cousin, a very successful business here in St. Catharines. Show up the screenshot I sent you, Spencer, from Merrittville today. So they have stepped up, and they are going to allow every driver free admission competing on the night, which is absolutely amazing. And the best part about it, Adam, is because in honor of James' mom, every spouse is going to get, well, that's the keychains. It was the other one I sent, Spencer. This is another thing we're doing, keychains. We'll get to that in a second, too. But, James, talk about that. First off, the great payouts, but what a cool thing your cousin stepped up to do here to let every driver in for free plus a spouse on Saturday at Merrittville.
Yeah, the spouse we had already announced originally, and then when they came to me, they're helping and sponsor the night and saying, they wanted to do something cool for it. And, we were talking about it, and I don't ever recall seeing something like this before. So I thought it's something that the drivers would really appreciate, and it would be something, we thought it would be something different. So something just to help promote the event. And I think it seems like it's been received extremely well. It's been shared a lot of times by people, and I appreciate it. And hopefully it helps anybody that was still on the fence about coming. We just keep wanting to give them reasons that they can't say no to come.
So, and it's a terrible question. It popped into my mind. It's the only one I can ask now. Is this a one and done thing, James? Are you going to do this?
Yes.
Be thrilled with Saturday night and
That's
very cool.
The plan,
which makes it so special.
I can hear my dad in saying, "It's do it once, do it right."
That's awesome.
No, that's what will make you happy? Like what will you look back on after this Saturday and think, you know what, that's exactly what we wanted. Amazing.
I think it's just, if we get a lot of cars, just the response has been overwhelming so far. So I just wanted to do something to honor my dad that I think that befits him, that I know, he was one of the greatest to me, and I want to put on an event that honors him. So I'm hoping we get a lot of cars. I'm hoping we get a lot of fans, and just in leading up to it, hearing people that reach out and tell me stories from his racing, because I was 7 when he retired, so I didn't really grow up with him racing. I grew up going to races with him, but it's just hearing the stories of, you know, all the years when he raced, and there's a lot of great stories and a lot of stories we can't repeat, but those are my favorite.
Those are the best ones. James, any word of any big name outside drivers that have confirmed they're going to come up? I know that was something you were working on and you reached out to a lot of guys. Anybody maybe that you want to announce is going to make the trip?
The one I'm pretty confident, Ryan Susi, is coming to. It'll be his first time here since last year. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people we've reached out to. There's a lot that we're hopeful on. I know in the modified division it's difficult because a lot of the top guys are racing for points on their home tracks, but the street stocks being a duel on the dirt, and I want to thank Brighton, that Speedway, that they gave their street stocks Saturday off, so any of their street stock drivers are able to come. The Sportsman is a dirt series race, so drivers are able to get show up points at their home track. So we're hoping for a lot of cars throughout all of the divisions. So
I just want to make an announcement here that you probably don't know, James. The March family, who have taken over Southern Ontario Motor Speedway, I was talking to them around 7 o'clock tonight, helping them out with this, and they're new to the duel on the dirt, and they said, hey, we would never put our home track duel on the dirt race on that night. So I hope I'm not breaking any news here or causing them any grief, but I'm pretty sure you're going to see them move that home track duel on the dirt race #1 from this Saturday a few weeks down to support this event. They also talked about doing show-up points for that, but they have drops. So he said the local guys that want to travel, the Steve Shaws of the world, can go down, partake in this great event Maryville's putting on for these guys. So everybody's trying to work together, and they're new to the game, but they're really trying to be good citizens. So he said, man, help me navigate this duel on dirt. I said, it's not a problem. Move your home track. Points are an issue. He said, we do drops, 2 drops. So our regular guys who want to travel can consider this a drop and go support. So I think you're going to see support from the West as well with the Thunder stocks also, James. So that's cool that they would step up and make that work out.
Well, thank you to them as well. It's just been overwhelming, the number of people that have helped out throughout this event. Just Hinkstons, you're going to see a friend of mine. His dad was on the pit crew with my dad. Himself, he's made about 500 to 600 T-shirts for us to sell. That'll be announced, I believe, Thursday. And all of the money that we raise selling the T-shirts are going to go to a charity that my mom was involved with. We've got another prize that'll be raffled off. That'll be announced tomorrow. Another sponsor, announcing on Friday, they've put $2,000 into the 50-50 draw. So the 50-50 draw will start at $2,000 for anybody coming. We're just trying to make it as cool an event as we can for both drivers and fans. My hope is people walk away and give people a night that they'll never forget.
Awesome,
you haven't left many stones unturned. That's really cool about bolstering the 50-50 draw. I mean, you guys have really thought about the fine details, James. Congratulations on putting this event together.
Thank you, guys, and appreciate you having me on.
Just one last thing, James. 1,000 keychains up for sale, right? Or up for grabs, sorry. You got to go to the T-shirt table. You can grab those keychains we just showed them. And first 1,000 fans.
Yeah, we'll have some of the keychains at the back, at the pit gate for people as they come in, plus a whole bunch at the front stretch at the T-shirt stand. So once you come in the front gate, you'll see our stand there. Hopefully buy a T-shirt, but either way, get a keychain.
Right on. Thanks, James, for coming in. Drivers, quickly remember, if you're going to be participating at Maryville, they'll have a sign-in table at the pit gate. You go there first, get your spouse pass for the front side, get all signed in and registered for your free passes by 6 p.m. Was what it said. So, James, thanks for being with us. All the best of luck, and we'll be watching.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
One of the good guys here in the sport, sponsors a lot of the teams around here at the events. And James was one of the first G-Force Light sponsors we ever had. Back in the pandemic, he was the one that stepped up support to get Merrittville Weekly on the air when we were during the pandemic. So thanks, James and DDL, for everything they do for local teams. What an amazing event. I'm pissed we're going to be on the road and not be able to see it, but still, man, it's going to be electric at Merrittville. Ivan was one of the, you have that kind of that core, I don't want to say core generation, but it was like 70s, 80s guys who just made the place what it is today for all of us to grow into. Same thing with everywhere else, but man, he was one of those heroes from the day that a lot of people, even see guys like Doug Erskine say, man, he was my guy. And his equipment was immaculate, had a badass ramp truck, wild. Just awesome stuff. Let's get Buxton out of the way then. You see it on the rundown. BuxtonSpeedway.ca. Finally, Adam, we're getting some sense from the West. We're going back to it. Craig told me today, BuxtonSpeedway.ca. That's the new name. They're rolling with it. You're going to hear an announcement and a new logo coming in the weeks. I love it. BuxtonSpeedway.ca. The website is already up, so go there and check it out, which I thought was pretty good. Looks pretty good already. But check it out. BuxtonSpeedway.ca is the new name. So Craig couldn't make it on tonight, but we'll be talking about that in the coming weeks as well as we try and get them to, put everything back together down there and get them back on the happy path. So, promoting wars. I sent you that, Spencer. Show this one. This was this should almost be in our Burger Barn videos of the week, but this was $300 extra to win in the Showtime Crown Vic division if you don't race at Auburndale. And I love Ryan Stevens. This is exact opposite of what track should be doing. In the next comment, reason number 13 why I will never race at this place again. That's just scummy promoting, isn't it, Adam? Come on.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's
that doesn't help us at all.
And I get hard feelings. It happens. Like it's racing is such a passionate endeavor, so I get when people feel scorned, feel hard done by. But yeah, that's bad form. You don't do that.
Okay, this is something I don't know. When we talked about this, Merrittville got fogged out a couple weeks back, a couple Saturdays ago, and when we were at the APC race, and Fran says Ivan Little was the driver's spokesman on Humberstone's fog night in 1984. So it got so foggy that they had to get a committee of drivers together, and Ivan was the one that stepped up to explain that it was probably a little too much for these drivers to be safely out there racing. And sometimes you need that elder statesman to step up and talk to asshole promoters like me and set us straight on the things we need to hear when we're like, we can get it in. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
What else we want to talk about?
Well, we can go through the rundown.
That's kind of probably a good idea. Let's talk about Chaudier. What a cool place that's going to be in Quebec this weekend. You mentioned your lack of sleep, but we'll survive. The races in the evening there, always packed. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen any imagery or anything from Chaudier where it's not just an absolute zoo with fans.
And it's a huge grandstand. The seating capacity there is bigger than most tracks around here. If they get the right weather, they will absolutely overflow that place.
I mean, first times we were there, it was crazy 2 years ago. I didn't get to go last year because we had that double APC deal. So I had to go to APC. You and the boys went to Quebec. So I think I'm excited to get back there. I just love the place. Great little bull ring and crazy fans. So excited about that.
Were
they
you
drink
with
a lot
us?
of beer there.
Oh, yeah. Were you with us when we had to get escorted onto the property? Was that 2 years ago or was that last year?
That was because all our planes were backed up.
That's right.
We didn't fly into Montreal. We flew to Quebec City. I barfed on Bradley on the second flight. And I was basically curled up in a fetal position, sick the rest of the way. But yeah, they did have to send the cops down to the end of the country road to pick us up and escort us all the way in because the crowds were so wild and we just were so far behind that day to get our broadcast on the air. So we got it going. That was kind of cool. So any predictions for Chaudier? Is this out Andrew Ranger territory?
You're close.
There, but
Alex LeBay is going to win.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I can't disagree. Is it safe to say who the top finishing English driver will be?
Oh. Boy, who could it be?
Give it to me. Give it to me. DJ Kennington.
No, I don't perform on cue. It's got to be in the moment. But yeah, DJ's got a good shot at that. Larry Jackson could do a good job. He's one that if he can stick around, he's a savvy veteran. He's way too polite, but he could get that done.
I don't want to throw shade at my buddy Larry. We had about a 45-minute talk yesterday, me and him, just shooting the bread about everything. But you know why Larry's got a shot? Because it's early in the year and his tires are still in good shape. He's got fresh tires this weekend. No, they're not.
No, his tires are from the 1990s.
Hey, I don't want to throw shade at our partners, but $500 a tire, what the hell? What the hell? That's all I'm going to say.
It's
ridiculous.
A lot goes, a lot goes into it, right? It's the Fairchilds have to tow across the country, right? So you've got to be able to absorb some of those costs into that, but it's the cost of doing business.
It's tire bills of $60,000 are crazy. Like you would think logistics and flights and hotels for a whole crew would be the issue, but wow, I heard that. I was like, damn, that is insane. All right, a couple Burger Barn videos a week. We don't have a ton, but hey, if you're out in the Quebec City area, or if you're not, we'll be live on Flow. We're around dinner time, right? I don't have the exact time. I think the race kicks off around 7, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll be live on Flow Racing with the stream. Adam and myself. I think I'm doing double duty, but we'll work it out. We'll figure that one out. All right, Burger Barn videos of the week. Don't forget, everybody, the Burger Barn is on 4th Line in Ohsweken, right next to the Petro Plus Travel Stop, our official fuel supplier for all things GeForce TV. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, great day to get in the Burger Barn. It's always a great day at the Burger Barn, but some days a little more busier than others. You want to strut right in and get your best meal? Lots of time there on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Let's go with our Burger Barn videos of the week, Spencer. I'm not sure what we got. Not too many on the deal this time. Oh, okay, don't turn up the volume until he shoves them. This is Ryan Newman and Tommy Baldwin. Did you see this, Adam? There's a lot of F words in this one. Okay, so now we can turn it up. Okay, roll it back, Spencer, but leave it muted. If you can. So, right here, in the gray shirt, that's Tommy Baldwin Jr. talking. His son was racing with Ryan Newman, and they got into it. And Ryan Newman, I kind of love what Ryan Newman is saying this before he shoves him. He says, were you driving the car? Then get out of my face. Don't come up to me and talk to me about what your kid did on the racetrack. Send your kid over.
Yeah.
He goes, if you didn't drive the car, get out of my face. I'm kind of okay with that. What's your thoughts?
100%. Ryan's making it clear who he's willing to talk to. Tommy, I don't blame Tommy for what he wants to say, but I don't blame Ryan for the stance that he takes as well. I'll talk to the driver. You're not the driver. Go away.
No, I agree. That's a good one. What else we got, Spencer? Oh, salt flat. Now this is an RX-7 that gets air. Man, is this guy ever lucky it doesn't dig in at him? He's probably going, I don't know, 250, something like that. And it just skids on the roof forever. Now, had this taken one little angle one way or the other, that thing would have barrel rolled for 2 miles.
You're not wrong.
Show it again one time, Spencer, while you can. But yeah, crazy just how that thing just skid on the roof. And you're just thinking, please stay upside down this whole time. It just takes off. Right, one dig in there, and it is over for this guy.
Yeah. I like that he deployed the parachute. Slow me down.
Like it did nothing. All right, what else we got, Spence?
They're having some sort of reliability issue, and that's a scary
place. Yeah, it's going super slow in the F1.
Oh.
That's about
Show that a couple more
dangerous
times.
as it gets around Monaco. We're on board with Isaac Hadjar. You've got the LED boards. Oh my word, that was nearly horrible.
Even we know it's coming every lap now, I'm still like takes my breath away. Wow, you talk they're not the best in the world. Those reflexes were insane. How that
was
one
impressive.
reacted to that. Is that it, Spencer?
And to not crash. Right?
Yes.
You jerk a little too much, you slap the wall. You jerk too much and pull back, you're spinning and hitting the other side wall.
Yeah, you're like you can almost see. Oh, like he's gonna hit that wall like that. That's a good point.
We're on board with Isaac Hadjar. You've got the LED boards. Oh my word, that was nearly horrible.
Nearly horrible.
Yeah, that's impressive.
That's a good way to put it. Oh, where are we at now? So Stuart Haas out of NASCAR. That's a big story that kind of dropped today. It had been hinted at for a bit. So first off, Stuart Haas announces they're getting out of NASCAR racing. Are you surprised by that, Adam?
I am. Yeah. I mean, when you really look at it, should we be surprised? Maybe not. But I think so.
I got to wonder, is this a Tony Stewart kind of statement towards the state of NASCAR right now and saying, look, I don't like the way we're going. I don't believe in your future, and I'm pulling out now. I mean, what else could it be? If there was a lot of stuff going on, and to the positive side of things in business, why would they get out of that? If it's making money and doing well, you're not just going to pull the plug. They can say it's because of time and effort, and we don't have the ability. There are a lot of people that would work for you with the time, effort, and ability to make Stuart Haas Racing a championship deal. It's a business thing that isn't working.
But I think Tony's right. But I don't think Tony's heart is in it. And I don't think Gene Haas's heart is probably in it at this point, the way it was for the last 15 years. So I think it probably very much is an admission that, you know what, we're not as passionate as we were. And without passion, you just can't make a go of it. You can't build that success.
So what happens to his 4 drivers? What happens to the 4 teams? What happens to all the employees now? Who buys the charters? It was already spoken today that Dale Jr. was going to partner up and buy 2 of the charters. But then show those 2 screenshots, Spencer. First, it came out that this is Bob Pockris saying Dale Jr. is going cup racing. But then Spencer revealed this is a fake. And the real Bob Pockris says he is not interested, Dale Jr. is not interested involved in trying to get any SHR charters. So, interesting.
But how is it a fake? They both look the same.
Yeah. Speak to me, Spencer. What's going on? What do you know? Someone photoshopped that.
Huh. People need hobbies.
No, you know what I saw today that was creepy along those same lines? I saw an AI video of Mark Messier talking shit about the Rangers that I would have sworn was the real Mark Messier if the things he was saying weren't super inappropriate coming out of his mouth, because it was that damn good. You just knew he wasn't going to go on the record and say the things that were being said. But strange. Yeah, I don't know, Adam. I got to think, obviously the first thing is you figure Harvick and Dale Jr. partnering up to run a couple charters. I know the rumors about Dale Jr. is that he's historically very cheap and frugal with his cash. So him trying to partner up. I researched it today when Mike Morris asked me. Charters are expected to go for $30,000 to $50,000 each, or million each. Sorry, 30 to 50 million each. So I mean, does Dale Jr. want to give up his whole fortune to get into NASCAR? I don't think so.
Hard to say.
Anyways.
It's a matter of how long does it take to recoup.
Can you make it work? I don't know.
Right, $1 million or $50 million, what's the difference? It's how long will it take to recoup? What are the odds? What are the chances? Risk versus reward. Steve
Shaw just joined us. Steve Shaw, what do you stay at home or do you go to the big Maryville race this weekend? That's a good question. And I like how you did that, Adam. That look that you did, You just look to right where the comment is on my screen for Steve Shaw, like the Brady Bunch. That was perfect.
I did that on purpose.
Last topic is Wizards' work is never done, and you brought it up today, Adam. A lot of people would probably be shocked to understand what Spencer and our team go through to get the Friday night races or any of the ABC broadcasts together. It is an insane amount of work behind the scenes, and I love Spencer for what he does. I know you and I got very angry, and we didn't even talk. Maybe we should talk about this a little bit. That I realized I hadn't heard from you since Friday. You called me yesterday, bitched me out about a couple things, and said, "Forget it, I'm in a bad mood. Not today." I just hung up on me.
I couldn't.
And I'm like,
couldn't.
You just called me, yelled at me for two things, didn't even let me rebut, hung up on me and said, "Not friggin' today." I'm like, okay, not friggin' today for you too then, man. I don't care.
Yeah.
So put me in. I get it.
Right. So here's what's funny. Spencer, what time was our production meeting on Friday? What supposed to be 6.
Wait, we have a production meeting on Friday.
Spencer requested it. So I went to the trailer. I think I was late. Like I think it was after 6, but whatever. Hey, I'm on my way over. Open the trailer, and right away, nothing is going right. We don't have time for a meeting. Okay, good to see you. Shut the trailer. Go up to the tower. And I'm not saying this to say Spencer's a dick. I'm saying everyone has things that they have to do. So opening night, Clinton is on edge. Spencer and Dan are in the trailer going a little crazy. So I go up to the tower where Greg is already there. And we sit there. Not really. We kind of sit there stewing because there's not a whole lot to go on about. But that's what I messaged you about earlier. Where I can't remember if we were on the phone or we were messaging. I've worked at a lot of racetracks where when the show starts, you open the microphone and you start talking. And you do your job. We don't have that luxury at Oshweekend because Greg and I are sitting at the tower, and a little after 7, practice is going on. Hey, why don't we talk to the fans a little bit? We can't talk to the fans because the PA is not up, because the PA is attached to the production trailer, and the production trailer is not a safe space at this point. But the production trailer knows they have obligations where shit has to be ready at 7:30, and it wasn't going to be ready. Right, they're thrashing to make that happen. So we have no pull to demand of the trailer that the PA come on. Meanwhile, Clint, you're in the back making sure everything is happening, everything is right. Dave Hunsinger's made his way up to the tower. None of this happens at a normal racetrack, right? At a normal racetrack, the race director calls the show to action and everything else better be ready. Ours is kind of like a well-built house of cards. But all the pieces have to be there or it can't fly. So Spencer doesn't even know this yet. Greg and I are in the tower talking on our microphones, on our headsets, trying to get Spencer and Daniel's attention to test the microphones. Nobody's answering. We do this for like 15 minutes. So we put the headsets down. Not 2 minutes later, we didn't see this, but Spencer sends a message, hey, can you put your headsets on? We want to check the microphones. Well, we've been doing it for 15 minutes. We're not looking at our phones. We're kind of waiting for things to happen. So now we finally check our phones. Shit, 10 minutes ago, Spencer's wanted us. And I'm not, like I said, nobody's being thrown under the bus here. We're just talking about the chaos that happens. Nobody would have known at 7:30. The turmoil that had taken place the previous hour. Because when the show comes up, we know, because there were still challenges that probably took us to about 7:45. And Spencer probably ran about 500 stairs up and down between the tower and the trailer, getting things organized. But nobody sees that if you're watching at home. And then the other element, Clinton, is you're getting text messages, I'm getting text messages from people all over. Hey, we can't hear this, or hey, scoring is off, or hey, this, like, oh my goodness. It's going insane, the amount of things coming at us that no other racetrack other than Oswego and the stream that we provide with the team we provide it with deals with. But that is the chaos that for someone sitting in the grandstands, they would have had no idea there was ever a problem. And for someone watching the stream, aside from a couple little technical things, they saw a good program Friday night. Meanwhile, everybody involved with the program was pulling their hair out.
Man, I went over to see. So my routine is they use my truck as a camera perch till we get the new one built this week, and I go over and I get the buggy because they use the buggy for setup, the Lockhart's Defender. So I go over and get that. I get my radio in my ear. So I got the same story. I open up the trailer door. Spencer turned to me. He said, "Not today. Nothing today." And I said, "Are we going to be on air at 7:30?" And he said, "Barely." And I said, "I'll get my radio then, and I'll be out of your hair." And the guys didn't get to eat. There was a screw up in the kitchen, so they were pissed off about that too. It was just a comedy of errors. And then even us in the infield, okay, so I'm standing with Jack and Andrew, who's camera 3, where I hang out in the infield. And normally we hear the cadence of the camera calls all night long. Spencer, take 1, ready 3, ready 7, take 7, taking all the calls. Jack, so they're looking at their radio, checking the batteries. Nobody hears nothing. Finally, after about an hour, we got all the cylinders rolling and we were ready to go. Missed some graphics, but this is just the craziness that goes on when we're trying to use 12 people and a couple tens of thousands of dollars of equipment to put on a live production that the big guys would use 50 people and $3 million worth of equipment. But I'm still proud of the product we put out. We are taxing Spencer and Daniel to the max, especially with our new, graphics packages and all these things. Like we have about 80 elements we're trying to put into a Friday night show. But man, I love it. I love what we do. When it all works, it's magic. You know what? I gotta just say one thing. So as much as I try and direct it all from the infield, because Spencer's a TV guy, he's a racing guy, but we're immersed in this Oswego life. So I can tell if we got a tow truck problem, we're going to be 7 minutes out here. You can probably take a commercial because Adam and Greg don't need to bullshit for that long. Give us a break. During one of the wrecks on the backstretch, I'm thinking about chiming in, and then I go home and I watch it. You know what I learned? Shut up, ass. Let Spencer do his thing because the product he's putting out is magic. It's all there. I don't need to say shit. So I'm learning that with Spencer. Even on nights like that, 3 years ago, I would have stood and breathed down his neck until it was fixed. He's like, "Yeah, you breathing on me doesn't fix it. Just go away." So we learn to deal with each other. And we'll be
that's
better
the moral
this week.
For sure. The moral of the story is the show must go on, and everyone is eventually able to do what they're best at and slide into their lanes. But so many things happen, even to the extent of Dave Hunsinger looking through the window saying, "Hey, 3 pace laps? Yeah, 3 pace laps. We're still on commercial break. We need time to introduce the lineup." Things that don't have to happen anywhere, but they do have to happen at our place for it to come off smooth. And I don't want to say, I don't like the term professional. But.
Dave asked me about that. He's like, "Do we always need 3 pace laps?" I'm like, "No, I'm pretty sure that was the one instance where," and that's where you guys, not going to throw you guys on the bus, but Spencer was screaming at you guys to go to commercial. You weren't getting that cue. And then I just said, "All right, we're going to commercial. We'll be right back." And then that put our commercial break behind. And then Dave come out, and we're still in the middle of commercial. They're rolling with the minis. And I'm like, "We need a few here." At the same time, you told him, "Hey, we need a few to get through." Quickly, let's finish up with the video screen. Lots of questions about it. So it's the same video screen we used in the past at the NASCAR event. At the Nationals a few years ago, we had it up off turn 3. The plan is to aim it towards the grandstand crowd behind Victory Lane and show the G-Force product throughout the night. So excited about that for everybody to see what we're putting out to the home crowd, see some graphics, see some ads, and just we're going to have some fun with it this weekend. So it's scheduled to be delivered Thursday for purchase, and it'll be ours for the rest of the year. So excited about that. And, I haven't got other things planned. I'm hoping to do a drive-in movie night on the Wednesday of the NASCAR Camping Week. Show cars or something like that out in the campground. It'd be awesome on the big screen, right? Have camper driving night.
Absolutely.
So, anyways, that's our show. Adam, you and I have a busy weekend. Most of the crew gets to chill out. Jack's bummed he only has to work Friday, but man, I told him chill out because after this, it's crazy. 2 APC races in a row. for the next few weeks, and we'll be busy. But we'll be live from Chaudière, Quebec on Flow Radio Saturday night. And live
Yes,
from
we
Osh
will.
Weekend at 7 p.m. right here on G-Force Live and free as always. Anything else?
Oh man, good show. Glad we got to share what we got to share. I have not been this tired in a long time. Like for this show. I'm going to bed.
Spencer, anything you need? I just like to make him talk on the microphone because I know he hates keying it up every friggin' time, but it's all right.
It's good for him.
Have a good night, everybody.
All right,
We'll see you Friday. Oh, one more thing. Shit. Community night. Throw that flyer up, Spencer. Community night. We're excited about that. Everybody, 6 Nations and with a native status card, get in for free at Osh Weekend this Friday. We're expecting a massive crowd. So come on down. Food specials. Bring your non-perishable food item and donate to the local food bank. We're excited about this. This could be one of the biggest nights we've ever had at Osh Weekend Speed on a regular night. Excited about it. So make sure you're out. If you're around, come on down and see us Friday night, 7:30. Osh Weekend will be there. Saturday, NASCAR from Quebec. Take care, everybody.